This is probably one of my favorite topics to do a show on. Why it's holiday magic. Me, jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle bells, rock. Meet Dr. Carmack, who will show us how to keep the stress down and keep it moving. Our teen correspondent will tell us how to take in the sights and sounds of Washington, D.C. during the holiday season. Then our youth correspondents will allow us to peek in on a conversation about what friendship means to them. And then we will wrap up the show listening to music provided by a former American Idol member contestant. And now he is also an educator. Yes, I'm so excited. And we are so happy that you are here to spread good cheer for the holiday.
Thank you.
Well, welcome to the show, Dr. Carmack. I'm glad to have you.
It's a pleasure to be here, Ingrid. Thanks for having me.
So tell us first about your business.
Well, I'm Dr. Susie Carmack, but my business is also my passion, and it's called Centered Being. And it's really a framework for helping folks to live a more centered life. And not necessarily a perfect life, not necessarily an easy life, but a more centered life. It helps us to manage and cope when life gets challenging.
What made you want to dedicate your studies and now your doctorate to pursuing health and wellness? And particularly, I mean, that's pretty exciting that you decided to do that.
Thank you, thank you. I have to say it was really a one step leads to another kind of thing, but my father actually was a physical educator, a phys ed teacher to be exact, in an inner city school. So I grew up hearing kitchen conversations about how movement and health could really make a difference for people and how people could take charge of their lives. In his case, he was motivating on a basketball court, but I really learned a lot from him about how, as coaches, we can help people to do more than the specific things, such as basketball, but to really see themselves in ways that perhaps sometimes go beyond what they themselves can see. And then, little by little, I learned more and more about health and wellness, and quite frankly, the more I research it, the more fascinated I am with how complicated it is, and on the other hand, how easy it really is. It's really about setting a personal tone for taking care of ourselves, and also, frankly, being of service and trying to take care of those we love. And that would be my way to boil it down. But there's so much to do in the world, and it's important that we all take care of ourselves to do it.
Oh, wow. So, you know, this is our holiday show, and I think stress is a really big issue. I mean, so one of the questions, you know, that I felt as if I wanted to ask you is that how can I kind of, let's say, keep the stress down but still enjoy the holiday?
It's an excellent question, because we know that stress happens to all of us as humans. You know, we're actually wired for stress. Some of our wiring, interestingly enough, doesn't delineate between, quote, good stress and bad stress. So, for example, the body has the same physiological reaction if it is excited about giving a talk show appearance as it is to maybe having something that's not so fun or exciting or not so welcomed happen and on the kind of negative end of the spectrum. But we also are wired to try to adapt. And the time sometimes when there's too much to adapt to, and we don't necessarily feel as though we can adapt, and or we don't feel as though we have the people and the resources around us to adapt, that's where it gets tricky. And so in the holidays, it's important. It's such a externally driven time. In the good sense, we actually are managing stresses in ways we may not realize. We're making a point to spend time with family and friends more than likely. We're taking rituals to kind of end our end of year and, you know, maybe holiday parties or welcoming friends and family over. So that's kind of the good news, but I think that what happens is that we get a little on the external side of the spectrum and the giving end of things, which is the whole point of the holidays, right? But then we maybe don't give some energy back to ourselves, and we can get depleted because we're so externally driven. So I would simply recommend taking time for literally taking a break, like you give your computer a break, and or giving yourself scheduled time for your own self-care, just like you schedule your holiday parties.
Wow, schedule that time. Now, how do I communicate to my family that, all right, so I have all of this. Is there a way that I can communicate to them that I'm at my stress level?
Yes, that it's a difficult thing, and actually I'm glad you're bringing this up because sometimes we all kind of get stress management and it's pretty simple, but it's the impact and the implication in our lives that's hard. It's hard to ask for help, especially if we're the one that's usually doing the helping. But I think asking our friends and family to say, I really need some time here. I need some time to take care of myself in such and such an endeavor. And then sometimes we can actually make a point to, if being alone and maybe doing some, self-directed things like, going for a walk or quilting or whatever it is that floats a person's boat, to make the time for that and ask the family to understand, I need this time. It could be as simple as that. Sometimes we can also make a point to have our social time as part of our self-care. So maybe you're feeling challenged because you only have so much time and it's especially busy this time of year. Right. You want to get your exercise in, you want to reach out to that friend, we're trying to get work done and all of these different factors. So maybe we, do two things at once. We make a point to meet our friend and we go for a walk together. And so we're trying to integrate the time. We do know that when we make time for movement and exercise with our friends, that we're more likely to keep going. And so it's important that we might build that into our holiday time, whether it's time for ourselves and or time to share with our loved ones with those same health behaviors we're supposed to be doing anyway.
Wonderful tips. So now your business, you focus on movement. You said the word, suppose I can't get to your studio. And so I love what you're saying and I love to be there, but what can I do?
Absolutely. Well, we have at Centerbeam, we do have a studio that we welcome folks to come in and work with us in classes or in one-on-one formats. But we actually have a lot of tools online now, and I'm very excited about some things we have rolling out here. One of them is an online program we have that helps people to get centered. So it's a webinar that asks some fun questions. Self-work sometimes can be hard and kind of can seem kind of laborious, but I think it actually can be very fun. And we start with a very simple question, what does centered mean to you? What does well-being mean to you? And then we give folks a little nudge in terms of putting that on the calendar to work towards defining what they feel is their best life. And then by the end of the program, they have a tool to start to create their own movement and mindfulness patterning that can help them stay and keep staying centered.
Wow, and I like that. So I can't get to a studio, but I actually can go on the internet, and sometimes I can go to my phone, pull you up, and try to stay centered. And I need to also communicate where I am with my family and friends.
Yes, and I think it's powerful when we ask, it's a vulnerable place when we ask our friends and family, hey, you know what, I'm feeling stressed right now, I need some extra help. And to do that before we have those holiday moments or the stuff that many movies have been made out of, and we've all been there. But I think asking for help ahead of time, and then also I think the great thing about that is that gives the kind of support for others who might be also feeling stressed in a quiet way and afraid to admit it. The more that we're open about our challenges with stress, the more likely it is that we all stay a little more centered because we all can be there to support each other. Excellent.
Well, what wonderful tips that you are providing to us. You really taught us a lot, and I hope that everyone takes this in and looks you up and get those tools. It was a pleasure having you on the show.
We're happy to be of help, and thanks again for having me, Ingrid. I appreciate it.
I learned a lot from Dr. Carmack, and I hope you plan to implement some of her suggestions. I know I will. Now stay tuned because we're getting ready to have our teen correspondents will give us tips on how to see Washington, D.C. during the holidays. In fact, take it away, Anya.
Thanks, Ingrid. There's nothing more beautiful as Washington, D.C. during the holiday season. Here are a few tips to enjoy the sights and sounds of Washington, D.C. First, visit the National Park Service website at www.npca.org to see the concerts scheduled during the Pageant of Peace. Then visit the website of the Kennedy Center and see what is being offered on the Millennium Stage, which is at kennedy-center.org/program/millennium. All of these events are free. After you have completed your research, gather your friends and family for your adventure into Washington. Don't forget to walk by the White House to see the beautiful holiday wreath. This is definitely a photo opportunity. Be sure that you bundle up because a lot of walking will be involved and it is cold. Remember, parking is at a premium in Washington, so I encourage you to use the metro. And don't forget to bring some money so you may stop by one of the fabulous hotels for some hot chocolate and cookies after taking in the sights and sounds of Washington, D.C. See you then. Back to you, Ingrid.
Thanks, Anya. I love your take on Washington, D.C. Now, let's welcome to the show Isis Wallace and Alyssa Hicklin.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to have you again.
Nice to have you.
Nice having you also. So this segment is about friendship.
Yes.
And I want to hear a little bit about, first of all, what it is about friendship. You two are friends?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So what's so special about being friends with Alyssa? Let's start with you. What does your friendship mean to you with
Ours?
Isis?
Our friendship, I guess I'll take it as family because I'd consider it as sisters. That's what we call each other, sisters.
Oh my goodness. And Isis, what does your friendship mean?
I consider friendship as like a partnership and two people being together like forever.
Being friends forever. Oh my
Yes,
goodness.
ever since we were babies.
You've been friends since you were babies.
Yes.
Wow. And so what makes your friendship strong?
Being together.
Being together. Do you both like the same things?
Mostly.
And what are some of the things that you both like?
Sleepovers.
Excellent, excellent. And also, friendship is very important. What about people who, when you go to school, because both of you are in school, and
Yes.
you think about when you meet someone new, what could you do to extend the hand of friendship to a person that you just meet?
I would share a pencil, maybe even show them around. Just be nice and confident because don't be afraid to make new friends.
Excellent, excellent. And if you were to meet someone in school, Isis, that was new, how would you extend them the hand of friendship?
I will give them a tour around the school, tell them all the teachers, and tell them like who the bullies are, so they don't go around them, and so they won't get a bad influence.
Excellent. I wouldn't get a bad influence. Excellent. Right. Okay. So both of you. Now, you live in two different parts of the country. How do you maintain your friendship? How do you stay friends?
Skype, or sometimes I live in California, but I came over here from plane, so I'll come over here and maybe have a couple of sleepovers and spend as much time as I can with her.
Excellent. Well, you two are wonderful friends, and it was a pleasure. I hope you all stay friends forever and ever. You all
Never
gonna
got
go
in
to-
a single fight.
Never got in a single fight. I like that. So that sounds like some true friendship going on here. Well, thank you for being on the show, Isis Wallace and Alyssa Hicklin.
Okay, see you
You're
then.
welcome.
Thanks again. Didn't you just love what they said about friendship? Thank you, Isis and Alyssa, for being inspiring guests. Coming up next, we're going to meet an educator who is also a former member of American Idol and also is an inspiring motivational speaker. What a show. And he's multi-talented. Stay tuned. Now let's welcome to the show Travis Tucker. Travis, thank you for being here on the show.
Well, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
Well, first of all, tell us a little bit about you. I think everyone's there. We remember you on American Idol.
Oh, geez, I tell you what. Well, my name is Travis Tucker, for those who might have forgotten. It's been a while. Yes, I was on American Idol back in season 4, and that was when Carrie Underwood won. So if you got to lose to somebody, lose to Carrie Underwood.
There you go.
But then I'm also I'm a high school math teacher by day, and then I still perform with my band around the DC area on the weekends and at night. So I got the best of both worlds.
Well, you're such a positive, role model.
I
And
try.
My goodness, what inspires you?
Oh, geez, I really just try to live the motto, just live every day. Just live every day like it's the last one you have. And when you see an opportunity, just take it. It might be scary, and it might, hurt at the time if it doesn't work out well. Like American Idol, I got humiliated in front of a million people by Simon Cowell, but that's okay. It was great. It was a great ride, and I'm so glad I did it because I've learned so much, and it's opened up so many other doors for me. It's been a great ride. So.
Yeah, and we were so proud of you. So you were the hometown hero.
I appreciate it.
Definitely.
I felt the love all the way out there. I did.
We were sending the love and making the calls.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Oh my goodness.
So.
So you sing, and then you also teach math.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
It's been I feel so blessed to have I guess polar opposites in my life. I love teaching. So I'm at Freedom High School down in Woodbridge, and I've been there for 8 years since I graduated from UVA. And I tell you, with teaching, there is never a dull moment. There's never a dull moment. I love my kids, and I teach a lot of students from different countries, so it gives me a chance to practice my Spanish, and I just feel like I really do make a difference. A lot of the students that I teach don't necessarily have the best backgrounds. They weren't as fortunate as I was coming up, and so for some of them, it's almost sad to say that I'm probably the closest thing to a father that some of them have.
Wow.
And so I know that I'm making a difference there, and it feels great. And it also gives me the flexibility to do what I also love to do, which is make music and perform and just dance around, entertain. And I feel like I kind of live that creed for my students. They can see that, hey, I don't have to just do one thing. I don't have to just work at this job. I can still chase my dream and still have fun and still raise a family and all the good stuff. I mean, you can have it all. You can have your cake and you can get down and eat it too.
Get down and eat it too. I like your attitude. I really love that attitude. When I think about it, and I remember, you being on television, and we were all rooting for you. It was just, what's the excitement level?
Oh my gosh! I tell you, American Idol is such a roller coaster ride. I mean, you go from being Joe Schmo on the street to people stopping in the middle of traffic to be, oh my gosh, you're from the show, and it's really crazy. And if I had to summarize that whole experience, it's just been, like I said, I learned so much, and I wish, people ask me all the time, can you go back? And I can't go back and do it now. I can't do many of these other shows and stuff, but if I knew then what I know now, as far as, now I consider myself much more of a musician. I play with this band through Washington Talent Agency, and we're playing every weekend, and these guys are just so good that I've learned so much about how to take a song and just turn it into something that's yours. If I had known that then, oh man, lights out, game over. I'm taking it home. But it's fun. I'm very happy where I'm at now, and I the way the world is now, I still have an avenue to get my music out there. You can find me on YouTube.
That's what I find. How can we find you?
Yeah, so my wife and I actually, and we just have a newborn son, so I'm a proud daddy as of this past summer. So, but yeah, she helps me out. She's my video producer, so we have all kinds of stuff on YouTube and some original songs you can also find on iTunes. So just search Travis Tucker and it all shows up. You can like me on Facebook, Travis Tucker Music, all that good stuff. So.
Okay, so that's how we're gonna have to look you up.
There you go, find me.
So Travis, do you think you might have time to play something for us?
If that's cool with you, I'd love to.
I would love to hear you play.
All right, let's get down. Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays to you, too.
How about this?
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. May your heart be light. From now on, our troubles will be out of sight. a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay. From now on, our troubles will be far away. Here we are as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who are dear to us, gather near to us once more. Through the years we all will be together, if the fates allow. Hang a shining star upon the highest bough. Have yourself a merry little Christmas now.
That was amazing.
Thank you so much. I
Travis.
appreciate it.
You were wonderful.
That was a pleasure.
Thank you for being a guest on this show.
Anytime, anytime.
And I tell you, I bet you they are all crazy about you at Freedom High, so they're blessed to have you.
We have a good time.
They're blessed. Keep
Thank
up the
you.
good work.
Thank you so
Thanks
much.
for being here.
All right.
Bye now. I'd like to thank Travis Tucker for being here on the show and our wonderful guests. I hope they inspired you like they inspired me. Hey, that's what the holiday is about. And I hope that I have the best holiday, and I hope you have the best holiday too. Because what I want to communicate with you is celebrate what you want to see more in the world of. And thank you for watching Ingrid's World. And don't forget, like us on Facebook for instant Ingrid World news, or see ingridsworld.org. Jingle bells.